In this lecture, we discuss about Gauss law and electric flux. So, what is electric flux? Electric flux is nothing but the rate of flow of electric field lines in a given area. Its symbol is phi, that is equal to integral E dot ds. Electric field, the dot product of electric field with the area enclosed by it will give you the electric flux. So suppose if you want to, if an electric field is there, which is represented by these electric field lines as discussed in the previous class regarding electric field lines. This is an area A which is having area vector in this direction. So here the number of field lines going are 3 in this particular area. The dot product between this electric field at this point and the area enclosed by it will give you electric flux. So E into, if we integrate all the field lines, electric field lines with this area dot product, E into A into cos theta, angle between the electric field and area vector. Suppose if this area is tilted in this way, the effective area direction will be this one and the electric field will be in this direction. There will be theta angle between them. Then this flux can be defined as EdA integral E dot ds, that is equal to EA cos theta. If theta is equal to 0, that means angle between that area vector and electric field is 0, then flux will be is equal to E into area. If the theta is equal to 90, it means if the lines of electric field lines are going in this direction and the surface is in this direction, the number of lines passing through that area are 0. So then the flux will be equal to 0. So similar situation we can conclude, we can imagine the situation to be similar to a bottle and rain number of raindrops falling here. So if you are trying to tilt this, if you keep this container exactly in this position to the raindrops, the number of raindrops falling in this container will be maximum. But if you slowly tilt this container, the effective raindrops falling in this container will decrease. If you tilt the container in this shape, the effective raindrops falling in the container will be 0. So we can relate this effective area concept with this flux, number of field lines passing through a particular area. If the angle between them is 0, then the flux will be EA, which is the product of electric field and area of that loop that is taken there, area of the surface that is taken there. If theta is equal to 90, then electric flux will be 0. If theta is greater than 90, electric flux will be negative. Okay, let us go ahead and see. So here we'll study about this is what we have studied about electric flux. Here we'll study about a law called Gauss law. Gauss law. What does Gauss law state? Why we use Gauss law first? We use Gauss law because this Gauss law will help us find out electric field for symmetrical, for some kind of symmetries. Why I'm saying symmetry? If we can uh, draw a Gaussian surface that we'll study in this topic while we are going forward. If you can draw Gaussian surface, we will be easily able to find out the electric field on that surface by using this law. So we have studied already formulas for electric field, for point charge, for spherical charge, uh, for a cylindrical charge, for a ring, these kind of problems. So if we are able to, for a sheet and all, we have given the formulas. But if we are able to use this Gauss law, we can easily find out the electric field due to the surfaces by taking the symmetry. What kind of symmetry? Suppose we'll see in Coulomb's law we have studied electric field due to a point charge at a distance r is what? So electric field is equal to q by point charge, q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square is the electric field due to the point charge at the distance r. Now I'll show you what is Gauss law states is electric flux is equal to integration of E dot ds, that is equal to q enclosed in that surface by epsilon naught. This is the formula that we will use to find out Gauss law to find out electric field using Gauss law. So what I'll do here is, if a point charge is there which is having a charge q, if you have to find out an electric field at this point P, what I'll try to do is I'll try to draw a surface, symmetrical surface above this charge. You see here, a circular surface I took here, or a spherical surface I took here, which is having this point P on the surface, and every point is symmetrically at equal distance from this charge Q. So now, from this surface, what I want to say is flux passing through the surface is equal to integral E dot ds is equal to Q enclosed by epsilon naught. So if we integrate every surface here, area with electric field, you see, if you can see, it is like a sphere, and all the lines will be passing through it like this. Every line will be passing perpendicular to this surface. Every line is passing perpendicular through this surface. So we can say angle between this area will be perpendicular to this surface. If we try to take a small area on this sphere, the area will be a vector which is perpendicular to the surface. So now the angle between this area vector and electric field vector is 0. So we can write it as integral E ds cos 0, that is 1. So now if we integrate all the area with electric field, because the distance of this charge from all the points on the surface is equal, then we can say the electric field at each and every point on the surface is same. Then if we take that E outside, integral ds is what? Summation of all the small area particles on the surface. Summation of all areas will give you the surface area of the sphere, that is E into 4 pi r square is equal to, which is a formula for surface area, Q enclosed. What is the enclosed charge in the surface? That is Q by epsilon naught. Now electric field at this point you see here, Q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square, which is a similar formula given through Coulomb's law. So if you take Coulomb's law is true and derive Gaussian expression for this and solve, you will get Gaussian's law is also proved. Gaussian's law will give you the same formula. If you assume Gaussian law is true, then we can prove Coulomb's law, vice versa. So like this, symmetrical charge distributions formula is applicable for any surface. First point you need to understand is this formula is applicable for any surface, any type of shape. But to find out electric field, if we have symmetrical surfaces drawn, it is easy to find out electric field at that point. So now here some important note points you can write is flux through Gaussian surface, that flux through independent of its shape. So then why did I draw this spherical surface? To find out electric field, we will draw this symmetrical surfaces. So I'll say, suppose if there is a random shaped body, I'll try to explain it further here. Q1, Q2, Q3, I say charges are there in this. So the electric flux due to these charges from this surface, I drew a Gaussian surface. Then the electric flux is phi is equal to integral E dot ds. Here we will not integrate this part, but the flux will be equal to Q enclosed. What is enclosed charge here? Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3 divided by epsilon naught. Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3 by epsilon naught. Here if you see Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3 by epsilon naught, this is the Q enclosed in this surface. The surface can be of any shape. But why did I draw the spherical surface there? Because I want to take a point P which is at a distance of R from the charge, which will have the same electric field on all the points on the surface in the previous question, in the previous derivation that I did. That's why I drew Gauss law in that shape to find out electric field. But you want to find out flux. This flux, net flux from this surface is due to all the charges enclosed. If suppose someone gave you have Q4 and Q5, this Q4 and Q5 will not be contributed to the flux here. You might ask me, how, sir? Why? Suppose, I'll give an example. You see, Q4 lines come here. You see here, these three lines are entering the surface and these three lines are leaving the surface. So if they make E dot ds as negative, electric field is like this, ds will be like this, negative. Here electric field will be like this, ds will be like this, positive. So this will give you negative flux and this will give you positive flux. Net flux will be 0 due to Q4 charge. And similarly net flux will be 0 due to Q5 charge. But in formula integral E dot ds, this electric field at this point, whatever this point will be there, very carefully you need to point. Flux is due to charges inside, whereas field is due to all the charges that are present. Flux will be caused by only the charges which are present inside of the surface, but the electric field at this point is a net electric field due to all the charges Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 and Q5. Outside charges will contribute for electric field at that point, but flux will only be contributed by the inside charges, the surface. Flux is 0 does not imply electric field is 0 at that point on the surface, because flux 0 means whatever the charges that are present inside the enclosed inside the Gaussian surface are zero. That doesn't mean outside charges are also zero. Outside charges also can contribute to electric field. Not imply electric field is equal. But electric field is zero means implies flux is also zero. Electric field is zero means the net charges field, the net charges which are present in this place, due to them the electric field on that point is zero, means the flux will also be zero. Because electric field at all the points is zero means integral E dot dA, whatever may be the area, the flux will be zero. Flux zero means electric field is not zero. Electric field zero means the flux will be zero at a point. So here similarly we can derive electric field for some other symmetrical bodies using this Gauss law easily instead of a bigger integration derivative. Here you see for line symmetry, if a cylindrical wire is there, if a long cylindrical wire is there, so I am taking a surface, Gaussian surface of this cylindrical Gaussian surface, which is and which electric field will be symmetrical. Electric field will be like this. I drew a symmetrical surface, long cylindrical wire of radius r. So near a point P, which is a distance of this one. I'll take it as radius r, small r. So now what will be the linear charge density? Charge density as in question it is given lambda. Okay, I'm taking a Gaussian surface of height h, cylindrical surface I took, which is having height h, which is having a radius small r. Now if you see, the surface can be divided, I'm dividing the surface into integral of E dot ds is equal to q enclosed by epsilon naught. I'm dividing this integration of all the surface flux. I'm dividing the surface into three parts. One is this curved part, and other is this part, and third one is this. Now if you see electric field lines, because it is a long cylindrical wire, electric field will be perpendicular to this surface. So this electric field lines, I'm considering in first surface electric field dot dA1 plus second surface electric field dot dA2 plus third surface electric field dot dA3. That is equal to Q enclosed is how much charge is enclosed here. If I gave linear charge density is lambda, the charge enclosed is what? Lambda into h. Per unit length it is lambda, per h length of cylindrical wire it is lambda h. So lambda h into by epsilon naught. So this first surface, you see electric field lines are perpendicular to the area. Area is like this, electric field lines are like this, which is perpendicular. It's not first surface. First surface they are parallel. Electric field lines and area vector are parallel. That is electric field into cos 0. Parallel is cos 0, and area integration of all the area is how much? Base area, curved surface area of a cylinder, that is 2 pi r into h, 2 pi r h, plus this one will be perpendicular. Second area will be perpendicular to the electric field, so it will be 0. Third area will also be perpendicular to the electric field, that will also be 0. Then that will give you E into 2 pi r h will give you lambda h by epsilon naught. H cancel. So electric field is equal to lambda by 2 pi r epsilon naught. Lambda by 2 pi r epsilon naught. So this is the formula. Sometimes this formula can also be written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught can be written as k. So into 2 I multiply with into 2. So what will I get? 2 lambda by 4 pi epsilon naught, if I write it as k by r, 2k lambda by r, where r is the distance of that point from the center of the, from the axis of the cylindrical wire. If it is an outside point, if it is an inside point, if the charge is actually present on the surface of the wire, so inside point electric field will be 0 because the enclosed charge inside the surface will be 0. For on the surface point, electric field will be is equal to 2k lambda by capital I. So these are the values. So now electric field finding out has become easy because of symmetrical distribution of the charge. So similarly, for a sheet of charge, also you can find out by drawing a Gaussian surface. So here electric field will be present like this. So integral E dot, the entire charge is distributed over a long non-conducting sheet, which is having charge distribution as sigma, that is charge per unit area. Charge per unit area. So now I am taking a cylinder of this sort where the electric field will be uniform over this surface. Now there one, I can divide it as first, second, third, these three surfaces. But third surface is actually perpendicular to the electric field. Surface will be like this, surface area will be like this, area vector, and electric field will be like this. So both of them have an angle 90. So this one dot product will be 0. There will be two areas. E into area is pi r square, which is at a distance of r, plus here also E into pi r square, which is at the same distance on the left side also, is equal to Q enclosed. Q enclosed is what? Sigma into pi r square by epsilon naught. That is 2E pi r square is equal to sigma pi r square by integral ds formula. Sigma pi r square by epsilon naught. Pi r square cancel. So E is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. This is for a non-conducting sheet. If it is a conducting sheet, that entire charge will be present on the surface. So here, two surfaces will act, and actually the value will become to be for a conducting surface. It will be electric field is equal to sigma by epsilon naught. You can remember this formula for conducting surface of a sheet of charge. So these are some of the important formulas that can be derived from Gauss law. Suppose another question, I'll take example. If there is a charge Q is placed at the center of a cube, what is the electric flux through one surface? You see here, if exactly the charge is present at the center, the entire surface is actually uniform, is at equal distances. This surface is at equal distances. This surface is also at equal distance from this charge. Now, if I can derive this integral E dot ds is equal to Q enclosed by epsilon naught. So now this dot product, this entire surface can be divided into 6 surfaces, where each surface is carrying equal flux. So 6 surfaces, entire flux is equal to Q enclosed by epsilon naught. That is equal to 6 into flux in each surface, where every surface, every side of the square, every face of the cube is taking the same flux. 6 times of flux inside the surface in each face is equal to Q enclosed by epsilon naught. So face in one surface is equal to Q by 6 epsilon naught. So these are the ways some problems can be asked for you to find out the values. And this is about electric flux and Gauss law.